Good morning guys, welcome back. Especially in this time of year, the so-called shoulder season, there is one big concern I have when I'm out backpacking with Ravi, and that is how cold Ravi is going to be during the nights when we are spending them in the tent. Because we all know about hypothermia amongst us people. But did you know that dogs can suffer from hypothermia as well? And because I quite often am being asked, how do I keep Ravi warm during nights out in the tent? I would like to talk a little bit more about this subject. So first I would like to talk about some tips that I would like to give you to keep your dog warm when you're staying inside the tent. And in the second part of this video, I would like to talk a little bit more about the risks of hypothermia with a dog, how you can recognize it and how you can avoid it. So stay tuned. And obviously the most important thing to keep your dog warm during shoulder seasons in the tent at night is to make sure that you have the proper gear for your dog. So most important, a warm and insulated place to sleep. For example, a sleeping pad. You can use an insulated one that we use, but that's obviously a lot of weight. But if you do not care about weight or you're hiking with several people, that's no problem at all. Ravi also has one. It is a short one. It's a children's size one, so it is smaller and it is obviously lighter. You can also make those folded pads out of, for example, X-Pad has them or Nemo has them. You can cut them down and your dog has a little layer of insulation underneath it. Roughwear offers a insulated pad that you can combine with their Highlands sleeping bag and their Highlands sleeping pad. So you can make a combination out of that one. So always to make sure that there is a proper layer for your dog to sleep on. Then the second one is a proper warm layer for your dog to sleep under. So you can either choose for a sleeping bag like the Roughwear Highlands bag. There are several other brands that offer dog sleeping bags as well. So if you would like to consider that one, just take a look on the internet in the area where you live, because brands will differ all around the world. You can obviously also take a blanket for your dog. You can have a quilt for your dog, either custom made, or some companies you can ask them to make it for you that offer custom quilts for us. So it's good to have both layers for your dog, so one from underneath and one from the top. So next to that, it is also important that, especially when your dog is getting cold very quickly, that you are having a warm layer that your dog can wear during the night. And in summertime, Ravi is wearing one from the brand of Pompa. It's the Jumper. And it's not a thick layer, but it gives him a little bit more of insulation. But now in shoulder season, I am, for example, using the Roughwear Furnace. And that's one of the warmest dog jackets there is. So that gives him an extra layer of comfort, because Ravi is one of those dogs who gets cold very quickly. So adding a warm layer to him will make him way more comfortable during the night. And next to a good layer from the bottom, a good layer from the top, and if needed, a warm jacket. There are a few little things that you can add to your gear list as well to make it a little bit more comfortable for your dog. And one of them is a Nalgene bottle. Nalgene bottles do have the positive thing that they can hold boiling water. So if your dog's getting really cold, just boil up some water, put it in a Nalgene bottle, stick the bottle in a sock, and put it underneath the blanket of your dog. So that gives an extra layer of warmth. And obviously the well-known hand warmers are always a good option to have on hand. Be careful if you put them directly onto your dog, because they can get really warm. So make sure that you first do your research on which ones do get warm, which ones do not get that warm. And then you will have a little backup as well in case it goes a little bit colder than you had expected. And the little thing that I did personally is I decided to go with a regular white sleeping pad for myself, or my new sleeping pad is going to be a long white, because they do not exist in regular white. But that gives your dog the opportunity to join you on your sleeping pad, and Ravi loves to do that. I know that's not an option when you have a huge dog with you, but with little guys like Ravi, that's absolutely a good option to consider as well. So then I would like to talk a little bit more about hypothermia and the risk of that for dogs. Because like I mentioned before, also dogs can suffer from hypothermia, and therefore it's always good to have one thing in your dog's first aid kit, and that's a thermometer, because hypothermia all goes hand in hand with body temperature. A normal body temperature for the dog is between 38 and 39.2 degrees Celsius, which is between around 100.5 and 102.5 Fahrenheit. So that's a good temperature to have for your dog. It's always good to know in advance what the normal body temperature of your dog is, because it might differ a little bit. So make sure that you know the temperature of your dog by measuring it a few times before you're heading out on the trail. And when your dog's body temperature is going below 37 degrees Celsius, which is around 98 to 99 degrees Fahrenheit, then the risks of hypothermia are starting to set in. And there are general symptoms of hypothermia. I will blend in a spreadsheet about it right now, because then you can see all the symptoms right underneath of each other, and it's more easy for you to make notices of anything or make print screens instead of me talking about each of the symptoms. So hereby a list of general symptoms of hypothermia with dogs. And if the hypothermia is getting more severe, more symptoms will occur as well. And this is a list of extra symptoms that do occur when hypothermia gets worse. And there obviously are different kind of grades of hypothermia. You have mild hypothermia. You have moderate hypothermia. And you have severe hypothermia. And when you're noticing during the night or in the morning that your dog is suffering from whatever kind of grade of hypothermia, it is always important to undertake action. And of course, that is about keeping your dog warm. Raising up that body temperature so that comes out of the danger zone. But be aware, keep in your mind warm, not hot. So do not overcover your dog, add a lot of heating pads, because that causes danger as well. So gradually warm up your dog, and if it is really a bad situation, make sure that you get off the trail to reach a vet as soon as possible. And once your dog has arrived at the vet, leave all the care to your vet. They know what to do and they will take care of your dog. And all you can do is keep your fingers crossed that your dog will get out of the whole situation in a good health. But just keep in mind, try to avoid it. Make sure that you take precautions for it, that you have the right gear with you for your dog, so that you can already make sure that you avoid hypothermia. And beware, hypothermia is not the same as being cold. I mean, in the beginning of the night, Ravi sometimes is shivering as well, but that doesn't mean straight away that he has hypothermia. So be aware of that, use your brain well, and then you will see the difference between hypothermia and your dog being cold. Luckily, I never experienced hypothermia with dog. I've seen videos on the internet with it, and you do not want to be in that situation. So make sure that you avoid it, just for your own peace of mind, but also for the safety of your own dog. So this was my video, a little bit of a combination about how to keep your dog warm in shoulder season in the tent, and a little bit more about information about hypothermia and how to avoid it, how to treat it, and what you can do to keep your dog safe out on the trail. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, give us a like, subscribe to the channel and notify the alarm bell. And then as always, enjoy the outdoors. We will catch you on the next trail. Goodbye.